Hey everyone, Dan here. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button and keep in mind that these are my own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. These are not meant to be, nor should you take them as investment or trading advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own due diligence, put in the work for yourself, and make your decisions based on that. Enjoy. All right, folks, here after market close on Wednesday, September 13th, we're going to take a look at Clover Health today. So we're going to start here on the Webull chart, then we'll flip over to ThinkOrSwim study, and then we'll talk about some of the data. So starting here on Webull, now these are levels that we've had in for several weeks. You can go back and see when the last CLOV video was, but that would have been when we put these levels in, if not earlier than that. And today, on the intraday, came in just under our 131 level. Clearly couldn't flip it from resistance to support, reconfirmed the resistance, and then just dropped. And where did it catch itself? Within a fraction of a penny of the next level that we had charted, the 126, or 120.6, I guess we should say. Wicked down to 120, and then tried to build a base back over that level. So to me, these levels are holding very nicely. You see, yesterday, similar situation, came in and tried to immediately make a run at this 137 level. Just couldn't do it and sort of just petered itself out as the day went on. Grabbed support over 131 the day before, tried to hold support over 137 and lost it and just, again, sort of petered out the day before that. So I'm happy with these levels as they currently sit. We can sort of see how that looks on the daily. And we have, still plenty of levels above and below. I would say if it loses this 120.6 level, we don't currently have a level until 107, and that's a pretty significant percentage drop. Now, I would say if we wanted to put one in, we do have some decent price action through these time frames. So let me see where we might have a level here. And if we don't, we don't. But if we do, let's grab it now. Okay, I would say right about here, 113. So just about right in the middle. Very, very close to just smack dab in the middle. And not really a solid trend line to behold, I don't think, but let's see if there's anything here. I mean, if anything, we could put this in just to have it here. I would say it's sort of both in its infancy, if it even develops, and is kind of questionable regardless. So if we say it started here and then it reconfirmed it here and it's been kind of walking down, tried to escape for a couple of days and now is sucked back underneath, we'll see. If it does continue to sort of compress the price action in here, that could be interesting, because that was a strong level. We had that 120.6, and if it's trying to sort of shirk a downtrend resistance, that could result in some explosive action. So let's leave it there for now. We can always revisit it if needed. We do see some really good buy volume back here, but then the predominant volume here of sell, and then we sort of have just a reduction in volume all across the board, but kind of leveling out here as we get into recent days. But still obviously a good push from that 76 level up to 163, but now drawing back to 122. So yeah, I'm interested to see sort of what happens here as it's kind of regressing to a logical place. And also, I would just point out, if it did want to make a move here, it could make sense that it put in a bottom here and tried to push, and now it's potentially putting in a double bottom. I don't know. We'll have to see how it plays out, but that's another factor that could be coming into play as we progress. So as it pertains to the ThinkOrSwim study, a couple of factors here. One, it's been wrestling for a while, since about, say, August 18th or so, with the mid-range of this channel. It's just kind of popped its head above and below and relatively indecisive action. And it's had, today it had a big stretch down toward this lower to mid bound of the channel, but it did that up here as well and then just kind of drew back. So I don't know that that necessarily means anything, but we do have this, see this cloud just pointed out over here because it gets kind of murky, but this is a 180 to 200 EMA cloud, and that's come in and it wrestled with it a bit on this push tried to hold support and couldn't, and now is kind of wrestling with it. It's not confirming it yet as support or resistance, but it's situated right where the center of this channel is. So quite interesting that you have both the center of the channel and the EMA cloud converging as one. So this is why I think whatever it decides to do with this level, confirm it as resistance, confirm it as support, is pretty important. Maybe an outsized importance at this juncture. Additionally, since back here, I know we have one hiccup candle here, but since all the way back here on the 24th of August, it's been triggering. Now, when it fires, is it going to make a move? And if so, in what direction? It can certainly misfire. You see, in this really solid move that it made here, all of this, this move here, it didn't really trigger leading up to that. It was just firing the whole time. And then it made the big move, and it sort of gave you a 1 day trigger. Trigger, and then fires. I guess you could kind of say, but I mean, that's not a lot to go off of. So pretty lackluster indication there, but this is lengthy, and I'm kind of interested to see what may happen. Let's see what happened. This was a pretty lengthy trigger period back here. Let's see if anything happened. So we're up here when it was starting to trigger around 125, and then it fired. Yeah, and that drew it down significantly, all the way into the 80s, I guess into the 70s as well. So, and I guess that's ultimately then where it resulted at the 71, and it had been triggering before then, and then it fired, and that kicked off this move. So it has some history of showing the trigger and the fire resulting in some significant price activity. Now, whether that's to the upside or downside is to be determined, as is to be determined what happens with the mid-range and the EMA cloud here. But those three factors are pretty big and pretty significant. And if you look back at Webull and couple them with the downtrend resistance that could be coming into play, as well as this important 120 level, I mean, that's a lot of factors that could indicate that it's gearing up for a big move in the near future. We'll have to wait and see. Now, on the data side, I got a note on YouTube from somebody that said CLOV may be gearing up for a short squeeze or something to that effect. And I was like, oh, interesting, I'll take a look. Now, there might be more better data, more recent, more clean, better source, whatever. What I could find, and I looked at places other than just MarketBeat, was basically not a ton actually of short interest. Okay, we're back. Sorry, that was doing something really annoying and I didn't really know how to get out of it. So the short interest here as MarketBeat, which I may never use again, percent of shares shorted 4.69%. So I mean, anything under double digits, I don't really think too much about. I think I also checked FinTel, which I don't have up anymore. I think they were at maybe 6.5%. So as always happens, there's differing data out there and different lags and whatnot. But those are, both well under double digits. So if you have other storylines or info, please let me know. But that's what I found. So I don't know that shorts are really playing a big role. You see here, it's been pretty consistently low from what I can see. On this chart. I don't know if this chart is working. Oh boy. Yeah, I need to just not click on MarketBeat anymore, I think. But in any case, here's the history. You had a big decline way back in June. That may have been when the price started to rise. Let's see. Yeah, so, just after that. So I don't know if, it's a callback to this period when the shorts kind of hit the eject button in June or toward the end of June, and then in July, the price started to fly, as we see here. Or if there's, like I said, newer additional info, but this is what I see at the moment. So to me, it looks like it may not be playing a role. I checked on iBorrowDesk as well, and just no real activity today. You see 10,000 shares available, a negligible fee to borrow, and that just sort of stays the same as you scroll down day after day after day after day. So it doesn't appear that there's a lot of activity there either on the feed from interactive brokers. So like I said, if you have additional info, let me know, but it doesn't appear to me that shorts have piled back in at the moment, but maybe they are, and it's just not clear to me how or when. All right, folks, I hope that your hump day went well, and as always, I appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next video.